is 5 to 99 years or life in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is there a reason she's crying?
She's just upset.
All right, what are you upset about?
Just situation. I didn't expect this.
What's upsetting you about the situation?
There's a lot of things that I should have done and I didn't do when she first arrived at our home.
Court is going to sentence you.
All right, guys, buckle up because today's court hearing is straight up unbelievable. We're talking about a defendant who won't stop crying, but don't let the tears fool you. She's on trial for something truly horrific, the abuse and tragic death of her own child. Yeah, it's as disturbing as it sounds. This is one of those cases that makes your blood boil. The details are gut-wrenching, and yet she just sits there sobbing through it all. Is it guilt? Is it an act? I'll let you decide. Drop your thoughts in the comments, but for now, let's break this down from the very beginning.
We feel that $200,000 is appropriate, but that if the court is willing to lower them, then obviously full conditions. But for something involving something like this, I feel like anything lower than 150 even would be just way too low. It also is a little concerning that no one's willing to help her, because then how is she going to be supported in the community? That's concerning to the state, Your Honor.
Well, just to clear it up, it's not no one. It's just people. Unfortunately, the people that are willing to help are just unable to do so financially. I'm sorry.
All right. The court is going to deny the motion, and the court has had no evidence on what amount of bond that she is able to make. So at this time, the court will deny the motion. And counsel, if there's an issue, is your client in protective custody?
Yes, Your Honor, now.
All right. If there's an issue at the jail with her safety, just let the court know. But my understanding, she is in protective custody. Beyond that, that's all I can do. And counsel, I've always found them to be receptive if there's an issue with danger. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So that's the last time we see her in this courtroom. But don't go anywhere, because 5 months later, justice finally catches up to her. She's about to be sentenced for the unthinkable, the assault and murder of her own child. This is the kind of crime that makes your blood boil. No excuses, no justifications, just pure evil. And if the judge doesn't throw the book at her, I swear, I might lose my mind. You don't get to take an innocent life and walk away with just a slap on the wrist. This is the kind of case where life behind bars should be the only option.
2022 CR 11873, State of Texas versus Yvonne Monica Perez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Allie Jackson.
Defense.
Matthew Allen.
Are you Miss Perez?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Did you understand you're charged with assault, intentionally, knowingly, of serious bodily injury by omission with the child? Did you understand that's the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Range of punishment is 5 to 99 years or life in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Perez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her rights to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 18 years in the prison and there are no applications. Did you understand that to be?
I hate to interrupt, but I just have to say, this woman's crying is driving me insane. And no, she's not crying out of guilt or remorse. It's almost like clockwork. Every single time the judge says the word prison, another tear magically appears on her face. Funny how she wasn't sobbing when she was out there committing horrific crimes. But now that she's facing the consequences, she suddenly wants to play the victim. And get this, the officer she keeps staring at, he's just 18 years old. Meanwhile, she killed an innocent child, and somehow she's the one putting on a show? Now, the judge just hit her with 18 years behind bars, but honestly, that doesn't sit right with me. She took a life. Shouldn't she lose her freedom forever? What do you guys think? Should the judge stick with this sentence, or does she deserve even more time? Let's dive in and see how this unfolds.
Offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence?
State Exhibit 1.
No objections.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. Is there a reason she's crying?
She's just upset.
All right, what are you upset about?
Just situation. I didn't expect this.
What's upsetting you about the situation?
Try to do something kind and just,
It's just I don't know if the court has noticed, every time she's come in, she's been very,
Crying.
very emotional, Your Honor.
I apologize, Your Honor.
No? All right, I'm just asking questions. All right, if we can go off the record. All right, State, are you asking to amend the stipulations?
Yes, Your Honor.
No objections.
All right, and then the court will review State's Exhibits 1 and attachments with the amended stipulations. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Anyone want to say why you should follow this plea bargaining agreement?
I can speak briefly on that, Your Honor. I think the stipulations, so the way that Ms. Perez came about to have the child was kind of strange to begin with. She, in my opinion, I think saw these two children that were on the streets. Her and her partner tried to help take them in. And then obviously there was an incident that Ms. Perez describes a week prior to this where, again, she should have taken the girl in for medical treatment immediately. And then obviously she fell from the stairs.
Let's backtrack a little bit, because it says in the stipulations that there were two people outside of the store. She says she's being a good Samaritan.
Mhm.
So she takes them both back to her apartment. And then she tells one of them, I can no longer keep you here. You need to leave. But I'll keep the complainant.
Yes, her and her partner. So her partner ended up, I believe, keeping the younger boy, and she kept the younger girl at the apartment. And then,
And is this younger boy currently alive?
Yes,
Yeah.
Your Honor.
yes,
And where is he?
As CPS has removed him, I believe he's with other family.
Okay.
the incident described that is the leads to this tragedy. Obviously, Yvonne describes it as she's playing. Obviously, the kid shouldn't be playing on the stairs. We know that. She hits her head and the back. She seems like she's okay as far as checking on her. She's eating, watching
So why
TV.
would she pinching her as a sign of as punishment? Because that's what it says in the steps, that she would pinch her.
Yes, sir.
Why?
It wasn't like I'm pitching her, just kind of like a grab, like just
It says
to
it left
prompt her.
bruises.
I don't get it. None of this makes sense. How do you take two innocent children from the public, and then somehow one of them ends up dead in your care? That doesn't just happen. And now here she is, sitting in court with the saddest little puppy dog face, hoping everyone forgets that she started this entire nightmare. Let's be real. She only cares about herself. The fake tears. Not fooling anyone. I just hope Judge Boyd shuts this act down once and for all, because, honestly, I'm so tired of seeing her face on my screen. The real victim here is that poor child she stole. In my opinion, she deserves life. No second chances. But what do you guys think? Should she ever see the outside of a prison again? Let's get into it.
I'm gonna leave a bruise. I didn't intentionally do it to like leave that bruise. The little girl, when my daughter was, well, when
And so I think she's describing as, yes, she again is admitting to that. It doesn't matter whether you think it's going to leave a bruise or not leave a bruise. I think we would agree. And then as far as her actions, she seemed like she was okay. And then the next morning, obviously she's not, and then drops her off at the hospital. And then obviously does another bad thing, just leaves her and then leaves. She does come back. She does sit down with the police. She does talk to them, tell them everything that's going on and what happened. Obviously, at that point, it's too late. But I can speak to Ms. Perez from the day I've been with her for 20 months or so, from the day I've met her until today. Every time I talk to her, she's upset. And it's not because of so much of her situation, it's because of what happened. And she knows that she did wrong. She knows, she wishes she could go back in time and change all of that. And she says that every time I talk to her. And so,
Like maybe if somebody is offering you a child, maybe calling the police?
yes, going that far back. It's not one mistake. It's things that happen over and over. And again,
So was the child healthy when she received the child? Was the child healthy when you received the child?
The first one is Joel.
No, I'm talking about the child that is deceased. Was that child healthy when you received the child?
Healthy in a sense. I mean, she was
Healthy in the
skinny.
sense that
She was
had-
skinny.
Did she have all her hair?
Did she have all her what? Her hair?
On her head?
Yes, Your Honor. I mean, only like patches, like not patches, but like her hair was thin. Her hair wasn't thick. It was thin. Her hair was thin. And she came when I picked her up when Cassandra told me to go, and when we went to go pick her up, she had like a dirty little outfit. I bought her clothes. I mean, there's a lot of things that I should have done and I didn't do when she first arrived at our home. I should have taken her to get a welfare check. I should have done, and I didn't. I just
and like Your Honor said, I mean, the initial thing would be to contact authorities to go through the proper channels. I think CPS was contacted prior to this and made contact with Ms. Pettis, so they were aware of the situation. But again,
Aware of what situation?
that the girl was staying with Ms. Pettis. But
Was that before or after the child was taken to the hospital?
Before.
So Child Protective Services was aware that somebody off the street gave her a child, and she picked up the phone and called Child Protective Services and said,
No,
"I have this child."
No, Ms. Pettis didn't. They contacted her. So again, I agree with the court. She should have done a lot of different things.
Well, I mean, I'm just unpacking things a little bit.
Yes.
So
The mother has extensive history with CPS and had different children taken away. So I think CPS was checking into the whereabouts of Ronnie and Hillel.
all right.
It was that.
So that's how CPS found out that the child was in her care.
You know what's crazy? We're all focused on charging her, which obviously we should be. But why is no one talking about the CPS worker who let this slip through the cracks? How does that person get to walk away with zero accountability? I mean, seriously, if your job is to protect children and you failed this badly, there should be consequences. This kind of thing doesn't just happen randomly. Sure, this woman ignored all the red flags, but what about CPS? Did they just choose to look the other way? Honestly, there's a lot of blame to go around, but something about this case feels off, like there's something more sinister happening behind the scenes. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but what do you guys think? Did I miss something here? Let's go back and see what kind of sentence she actually gets.
Overworked and underpaid, but I'm wondering why would a CPS worker, and this is just a side note, why a CPS worker would leave a child with somebody that a mother just gave to that's a complete stranger. I guess that's something else that needs to be addressed.
Yes, and like I said, the circumstance behind it are, to put it, I guess, strange, and that's one of the things that I found strange as well, to, I guess, put it nicely. But
So why am I following this plea?
Your Honor, at this point, the state, after much back and forth, we recommended this plea due to what is actually being charged, and what we can prove. It becomes a question of whether or not we can prove that she did not seek adequate medical attention in terms of she has training as an LVN and attempted to keep an eye on the child at home. And it becomes whether or not we would be able to prove that she failed to do so due to how it is charged, Your Honor. And so at this point, we do feel 18 years for what she is charged with is appropriate.
All right. And does she have a license as an LVN? I'm assuming
She did in the past.
She did, has, and then I needed to renew it.
It's
'cause I went-
expired, is that right?
Yes, and
Yes.
then I started going to school to EC. Oh, sorry.
That's okay. It's expired.
This is what the court is going to do. As previously stated, the court is finding you guilty. Court is going to sentence you to 8 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's to be no contact with minors. There's to be,
Judge, did you say 8 or 18?
18.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just make sure.
Did I say 18?
Okay.
All right, thank you.
It's okay. Matt and I are done this
Yes, all right.
morning.
18. All right, 18 years in the prison, credit for any time served. There's to be no contact with minors, and there's to be no employment in the future with minors or vulnerable persons. Is there anything else with regards to sentencing?
Not sentencing, we do have victim impact, Your Honor. Hold on.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing, whether you had your LVN license or not, I saw where you took your dog to the groomers. When a child is sick, you take a child to the doctor.
Yes, Your Honor.
I don't know why. Sometimes people have more love for their animals than they have for.
For a second there, Judge Boyd really scared me. I could have sworn she said 8 years. But honestly, even 18 years doesn't feel like enough. Like the prosecutor said, they could only prove so much, which makes me think there was way more happening behind the scenes. And yet, here she is, crying like she's the victim. If anything, she just got let off the hook for a crime this serious. 18 years feels way too light. And let's not forget CPS. Did they just ignore red flags? Because if they did, that's a whole other mess. A system designed to protect children shouldn't be letting cases like this slip through the cracks. There's no excuse. Honestly, I'm shocked Judge Boyd didn't push harder to dig into CPS' role in this. If someone ignored warning signs, they should be held accountable too. What do you guys think? Am I being too harsh here, or did she actually get off way too easy? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I really want to hear what you guys think. Did the judge make the right call, or should the sentence have been harsher? That's a wrap for today, but make sure to like and subscribe for more content like this. I post every single day, so stay tuned. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.